or hello to everyone. We are here for today to discuss about the college counseling and college readiness with Mr. Ali Erenkol. Mr. Ali, welcome to our program.
Welcome. Thank you very much for the invitation.
Thank you for joining us today. How are you? How do you feel?
Feel well, thank you very much. It's busy days, school's open, so everybody's working with the students, with great teachers.
I see. How is it go with the COVID online schooling? Is that okay?
It's interesting. So let me put it that way. Yes, it's different.
It's
new.
New and new normal life generally. Yeah? So first of all, please let us something about you to introduce yourself, and then we can go to the presentation.
I started teaching in 1996. I worked in different countries, different states. I worked in Russian Federation, Turkey, and since 2002, I've been working in the United States. I came here in 2002 and worked in Oklahoma, Arkansas. Then since 2007, I'm here in Texas.
Thank you very much. So now today we are going to talk about the college counseling. It's like important for everyone. We all are interested with the future, actually, our career, especially students nowadays. They are interested to join any college or any university. So if you're ready, let's first start with the college counseling. What do you say about us, about university to us?
So I'd like to start with the role of the parents, because I assume that many parents might watch this channel and they have kids. Mm-hmm. And I can say that after purchasing, their house, hopefully they will, purchase their house, or they purchase their house. And the next big investment will be on their kids' college education. But there is not much awareness or knowledge in that field. Some fear and don't get into the field at all. Some, learn some and thinks that that's enough, and some thinks that they don't know anything and that they really, they're scared of that. So I would ask this question to the parents. When they go out to buy a house, do they just find a real estate and agent and they say, hey, find me a house, I'll pay you, for example, $300,000. And do they buy the house without just looking into the house? No, right? I mean, they use the agent to find their options, opportunities. They use the agent to learn the tricks and the procedures of the work of the business. But they don't use that person solely to make decisions. They go out, they make their own research, they try to understand more, they find different people, their friends who purchased house. So the same way, this college application, this college education is something learnable. And if they don't invest in that field, they will end up paying a lot, or they will miss big opportunities for their kids. I have a different presentation. Maybe one time we can do that. Do you want $1 million presentation? And I prove with numbers that if you have 3 kids, if you know the system, you can get $1 million in a very easy way. I mean, you can save $1 million in a very easy way. I mean, just one simple math. I mean, college education at a public school, 4-year college per year is about $25,000 if you receive no grants and scholarships. Everybody receives something, but let's put it that way. And a private school changes between $50,000 to $75,000. So just small portion of students nowadays finish college in 4 years. Most finish in 5 years, 6 years. And about 40% students don't even graduate. And another statistic is 2/3 of students change their major after they get into college. 1/3 of the students change the college. So it shows that I mean, there is a lot of things need to know, and if you don't do your work early on, the kids will make changes. It's gonna lengthen the time. You have to pay more. Kids will start to earn money later in the life. It's loss of earned income. So there's so many things going on.
It's
So
a long journey, right?
it's a very long journey, and it starts very early. For example, in the country that I grew up in, Turkey, I mean, kids go to college prep programs as early as maybe third grade, fourth grade for the elementary programs and for the middle school programs. They always go to college prep, courses, right? I mean, they take college prep courses.
Yeah.
Here, I mean, many kids don't. And if they go just for, I mean, 3 months, 4 months, maybe short term. And the college prep classes takes a small bit of the chunk. Here, when I talk to parents, they're eager to pay a few $1,000s on college prep courses. I mean, SAT prep, ACT prep. But when it comes to learning the system and planning part, which takes 95% of the, I mean, of the work, they don't know about that, and the awareness isn't there. So what I can say is, here in this country, we live in a country where the college application process is the most complex. And the reason being is, I mean, we have about 4,000, higher institutions, 2 years, 4 years. And we live in the country where everybody has the freedom of setting up their own system. So every college, every 2 year, 4 year college has their own system, and high schools have their own system. There is no one unique thing, and each child is different. Each family is different.
Easy.
In those all, I mean, variables, you have to know the system, make a good plan, and update the plan every year to get the most out of the system. So here I see that the role of the parent is not knowing everything, but as a parent, if your child coughs, if your child has some fever, you don't do surgery, right? You just, check if first you try over the counter medicine. If not, then you take your child to doctor and you follow what they, tell you to do. So same way, you need to know if there's any problem or not. And then you have to take action early on. So earlier the investment, the better the solution. I mean, you will save up a lot. If you, for example, the first question is, I mean, I will show you also in my short presentation, the college readiness, right? So who graduates from college? You said that 60% students who got into college graduates. So who are those people? And we live in the world, in the country where the statistics is everywhere. So we know that, hey, those students are the ones who received C, C grade in their first semester. And the first semester is the hardest one for students. If they survive that, they graduate. And if they get C or B, most likely they graduate. Okay, first semester, it's very big indicative. And who get those grades? Statistically, 75% of students who get certain SAT scores, 530 math, 480 evidence-based reading and writing, those students get C in the first semester. And those students, graduate from college. Okay, who are those kiddos? Who gets that SAT score in the senior year? So we go down and we know that if you're in third grade, if you take some MAP test or NWA test, there are so many different tests that are given nationwide, I mean, in the public schools. So, but if I look at your statistics, I can guesstimate what's going to happen throughout your high school life and college. So if you read at the grade level and if you like to work on math, you have a good potential to be good if you have the right plan for middle school and high school. And high school is the biggest problem because Here, I mean, it's very different than, some other countries. And each child has her own schedule. So high school has too many options, and they don't tell you that. They assume that you know it, and you go to school to choose your classes, maybe in the February, March of the 8th grade. And if you don't have your plan with you, then you will not get the best deal. If you ask questions, they will tell you, but they will never say that, hey, we have AP classes, we have higher level classes, we have honors classes. I mean, because they don't want you push in one direction. They give you the choice, the freedom to make your, selection. But if you don't know, you can't ask and you can't make selection. And then they give you just a regular load of courses. So you lose all the opportunities that will come with a good course. So what does it mean? Before 8th grade, you need to know everything about the high school. How can you do that? So there are ways of doing it. Maybe we can spend just one session on how to build 4-year high school program. Because without that, you already lost the race to the top colleges. Okay, to get to the highest level, best high school plan, everything starts in middle school. If you don't get Algebra 1 early on, which is the prerequisite, which is requirement for many other high level, courses, then you won't be able to get the best high school deal. So you have to start at the beginning of middle school, 6th grade. But by 6th grade, if you're not ready in elementary, then you won't get that best deal. So what I try to say is, role of the parent is to ask, to be open to learning, and ask everybody in the neighborhood about, hey, what did your child get? And how can I learn more? And find someone who knows and get some presentation from them when they come together in gatherings via Zoom, or with social distancing. So they will say that, hey, I need to learn more. Why? It's for my child. We live in a wonderful country with super opportunities, but only to those who knows how to use the most out of the system, how to get most. So I know one example. One parent always, comes to my mind, and she didn't know anything about high school or college, but she knew that she had to get some help. So she put together her child's, friends and their families, and she invited the best people who knows this in the field. So she brought the, the, the counselors, she brought the families, she brought the students together, and then the magic happened. All those group of kids went to the best colleges because of the need that mother felt, and she took some action. Just take some action, then it's gonna get better. So maybe I can start to my presentation.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. So I have some links to share, and you can. Here we go. Let me just a second, please. If you have, just open up a web browser and put this bit.ly link on your phones or computers, web address here. It's going to take you to this document, and you will have access to all the links. And I'd like to show you something. I'd like to start from the end, and it is college application checklist timeline to show you going backward. It is backward design. And the backward design shows that, hey, by May 1st, which is National College Decision Day of the senior year. So when your child is in the last year, 12th grade, the senior year, by May 1st, you have to make your decision among all the offers, acceptances that your child received. But receiving acceptance isn't the big deal in this country. Receiving financial aid award letter is the most important thing. And what is that? Okay, so when you go out to buy a phone, you know how much it costs, right? Up front, you can say, hey, I have a budget, let's say $700, and I will go and look for the phones, and I will buy the best phone for that money. So you have a budget, and you go out and you can check prices anywhere, Best Buy, Google, Amazon. You can buy your phone easily with no big deal. The most interesting thing about this country is you don't know how much college will cost you until you receive this letter, which is usually sent after mid-March. If you do everything right. If you don't do everything right, you'll receive it much later. If you don't do everything right, you won't receive it by May 1st. So you want to know how much college costs, uh, uh, but you have to make your decision. So this is the weirdest thing. This is the most horrible thing. And what happens is many students, start to make applications, but they don't receive the financial aid award letter by the time they need to make decision. If you go backwards, they will receive the acceptances and rejections. Somewhere after February, March, if they just apply regularly, they'll start to get acceptance and rejections. And getting rejection is a level of success. The reason being is, hey, you made a complete application. So one thing that we may not talk much is, many students don't even receive acceptance or rejection, and because they didn't have a complete application. Many kids think that, hey, I applied. When they send the application, they think that they are done, but actually not. So we have many presentations in your channel. They are wonderful, and I will refer them to those. So when application is complete is when the college says so. So when you apply to college, you will receive an account from the college where you will track your application. And there are many items needs to be received and approved by the college until you're accepted as an applicant. Then your file will be put into admissions officer's desk, and then they will make a decision on that. If one thing is missing, it's not going to get to the desk. So, and many students, unfortunately, they don't complete their application. So then we have to go back. So first semester, senior year, of course, they have to send the SAT score, the transcript, recommendation letter, resumes, fee waivers. They will apply for FAFSA. And they will, if you go backwards, and so they will send everything, hopefully by October, and then they will know that colleges received them and they approved all the documents. So then they will have complete application, and then they will receive acceptances and rejections, and then they might receive their financial aid award letter. So, but in order to be able to, for example, send your SAT score, you have to have a good SAT score, right? And if you delay the process to your senior year, it's already too late. Many top students take care of the SAT by the end of 9th or 10th grade. And they don't deal with SAT in the junior year. But the common practice is, hey, junior year it starts to warm up for SAT. And senior, you take the SAT, or maybe summer of senior take the SAT, which is not a very nice plan. And because we have SAT tests, we have SAT subject tests, there are so many tests to take. Hey, what are they? Is another topic. So you have to, the best way to do it, if you start from the beginning, the child will explore himself and the family will help. So when I saw, as a best practice among, successful parents, early on, before elementary, middle school, they always try to understand their child's strengths, their interest, and they try to feed their child in those areas. And those students that say that they know themselves and they explore jobs and careers as early as 7th grade. And then at the same time, they get ready for Algebra 1, either in 7th or 8th grade. And they keep reading books. Then they take Algebra 1, 8th grade, and maybe they take care of their geometry over the summer. They may start Algebra 2 in 9th grade. But at the same time, they meet with high school juniors, seniors, they learn about the high school optional opportunities, and having a near peer advisor is the best. We are old people to them. They won't have much attention to us. But if they have a brother, sister in high school or college, it would be wonderful. And so if they start to choose their career, their major early on as a freshman in high school, and then they investigate more, and based on their major choice, they start to make their college list, and then they finalize their college list after their sophomore year, I mean, at the beginning of the junior year or in end of sophomore year, and then they plan their SAT, ACT, and then they start to update their resume. So this timeline shows that it's never too early to get prepared. If you go back to the slides here,
So the journey is starting with the 7th grade, right?
I mean the latest to me, and assuming that the students have a strong math and reading background, if that's the case, you should start latest in the 7th grade. But if you have issue with math and reading, then you have to invest on those, as early as possible. For example, successful parents start to read books to their kids when they're babies, and they read books, so they always see the people reading, and they start to read early on. I mean, by the 1st grade, they read more than 1,000 books, and it's very easy in this country. So it's never too early. Um, you know, uh, sometimes with our presentations, we might give. Do you see the presentation now?
Yeah.
Okay, because sometimes it doesn't work that way. And I will just show some glimpse, and our viewers will have access to all those presentations. So here, sometimes when we set the bar high, we discourage many students, and it's not good. So we have to celebrate our students' success. What I mean from this is, in this presentation, when I give to students, I want them to feel good about themselves. I found out that at the school we always push kids for 4-year college, but then we realize that it's not good because many students also choose to go to 2-year colleges or some other options opportunities, but then they feel themselves unsuccessful. Hey, I couldn't go to 4-year, so I am not a successful person, and this is the worst thing that we can do to kids. So just as a statistics to know that, this is a very well-known chart, among educators. What does this show is, as an average, if 100 students, start high school, about 83% of them graduate high school, and of those 83, 62, percent. So from the start, let's say that we have 100 kids, 83 graduate from high school, 62 enrolled to college, and just 31 of them, about half of the students who got into college, graduates in 6 years. So it's 50 to 60%. But it is this US average. If you look at a top income quartile, so students who are coming from rich families, their percentage is much higher. If you look at the students who are coming from low income families, out of let me just move this up. So very few
Money talks here also, right?
This is very scary. Look, 8% of minority and low-income students, graduate from college. It's very scary. So, it's among the ones who start high school, 100 kids from low-income families, just 8 of them graduates from college, compared to 82% from, rich families. So our job is, at the school, public schools, to help all students and to make sure that students from, low-income and minority families also graduate at the rate of students who are coming from high-income families. So this is the mission that we try to follow. But I mean, they have so many challenges because they don't have anyone in the family, in the neighborhood who went to college, who can guide them, who can help them. They don't believe themselves that they can do it or they should do it, or they don't know the scholarship opportunities, they don't know the application process. So they go through very hurdles. And I mean, from the community that I live in, we have many newcomers from out of country, and if they don't know the system, they may end up being in this group. But if they know the system, they don't need to come from a top income. They can easily be in that group. So our fear is we don't want our students who get into college get some college, no degree, but big loans. So they got loans, now they're in debt, and they have no degree. That's the worst thing that can happen to our kids. And we really try to avoid it. We must make sure that our kids are college ready. And this presentation was geared towards Texas parents. I removed some information. So as we saw from here, graduating from high school is a big success in itself. So hey, if you graduate from high school, regardless with minimum plan or regular plan or advanced plan, it's a success that many kids cannot. So I mean, tap your shoulder if you graduate from high school. That's a success. So we say that this is levels of success. So you are in level 1. What I tell my students is, hey, when you play any game on your smartphone, after level 1, you never stop, right? Hey, level 2, level 3, level 4. You keep going until you really cannot do anything. Maybe you go 5 levels, maybe you go 100 levels. So we should have the same mentality, and after each step you should congratulate yourself and you should feel happy about that. So you can graduate with minimum plan or with regular plan or with advanced plan. So there are already a few levels of success there. Then you can graduate from high school as college ready, as defined by either your local, state, or a nationwide criteria. So I will talk about that if we have time in our presentation. So I mean, nationwide, in SAT score, if you receive 530 out of 800 math and 480 out of 800 evidence-based reading and writing, you are considered as college-ready student. And many colleges will give you acceptance if you have this SAT score, because you are better than at least 50% of the seniors by getting that score. So you can graduating from high school is a success. Graduating from high school as college-ready is a success. What's next? Hey, you can graduate from high school as college ready with some AP, credits. So you took some AP classes, it's a success. You passed AP classes, it's a success. And you took the AP national test and you passed a few of them with 3 or 4 or 5. So wonderful. So these are additional successes that you put on your resume. What's next? Maybe you also took some dual credits, additional success. Maybe you took some credit by examination, college level tests to get the college credit, extra levels of success. So in this level 3, you get some college credit. And there are many ways of getting college credit to save money in the future. What's next? We need to be aware of that. There are many different reasons students who drop out of college. And financial pressure is one of the main things, because many students work at full-time or part-time jobs, and then they cannot keep up with the college, and at the end they lose their scholarship and they may not complete it. And some students get into college but not as college ready. And if you look at ACT, national, statistics, most of the students who got into college actually are not college ready, either in math or reading or science. So they get into college, and they think that they are college ready, but unfortunately not. So that's why, and when they get to college, the first year is a disaster for them because they weren't, they didn't work enough to survive this first year, and they become college dropout either after first year or during the first year. So another thing that the next level success is, hey, you graduate from high school, okay? After high school, you have so many options. You can go to apprenticeship programs. Instructor program there. So there are programs that you don't need any college. Then there are programs at the community colleges, and they are also very different. We have, certificate programs, which is not college courses, but technical, courses, and you take certain numbers of those, then you earn your, certification, then you can find jobs easily out there. Or maybe you add some academic courses to your technical courses, then you'll get your Associate of Applied Science. So just in community college, there are so many different programs that just we can just dedicate a session on just community colleges and the opportunities they provide and how to get the most out of that. And the other option is maybe, so before you move to 4 year, maybe you will go to 2 years in college to save some money. And then you can take some core courses and some electives, and then you'll get your associate degree before you jump to 4 year. So every time there's always a little bit more you can do to add the level of success. So if you get your core courses and if you get some electives, then hey, you have your Associate of Arts degree, you have your Associate of Science degree. So there are so many, again, I said opportunities there. So let's say that you jump either directly or indirectly from high school to 4-year college. Then again, there are different options out there. And maybe after college, maybe you choose to go to, your master's degree, your graduate degree, or anything else. So no matter what, in this country, everybody tries to increase their educational level, either by going, courses, by taking classes, either they go to boot camps. So always there are opportunities to update yourself. And many people never stop updating themselves to get further in their career. And also, college affordability. So when students are in that mindset, so if you have a student, hey, I need to invest for my future. I have to study something. I have to do something. For those students, there are tons of scholarships. And, the sad thing is, nowadays students are really, in their social media, in their life on their phones, and you don't have time to talk with these opportunities. And many kids who could get excellent scholarships, unfortunately, don't apply to get those. So that's, another thing that we might talk maybe in the future. You know, and, there are so many, groups that can contribute, can chip in towards your college education. And there's federal government can give some money, state government gives money, the higher institution, the college can give money, the parents, the student, and third-party scholarships. Out of all those, who has the most money? The college. So if you know where to go, if you make your plan right, if you know what that college looks for, if you build your resume based on the college that you want to get in, that and you can get in, you can get a great amount of scholarship from that institution to lower the cost of your college education. Again, it's all about planning. If you plan ahead of time, there's high chance of getting great scholarships from the institutions. The reason being is, why federal government, not federal government, not the state, but the college can give more money? Because everybody here, the federal government, the state government, the parent students, they have to give money out of their pocket. But the institution just lowers the money, lowers the price. And they don't give any money out of their pocket, just lower the price, and easy way to give you money. And they can do that if they want to have you in the institution. So, a lot of things can be told, but what I try to say here is this system is easy to understand if you just are open and start to ask questions. As you ask questions, you will learn what else you can ask. And, there are so many great YouTube channels that you can learn more. You don't need my live presentation. If you know what to ask and ask those questions in YouTube, you will get many great resources. And I will go over some great websites for you to learn the basics. If our time let us do that.
It's okay, no problem.
Mm-hmm. And just one of them I will give you live presentation is, Big Future website. The Big Future is by College Board, the makers of SAT and AP. So this institution has a wonderful website that guides students on every step of the college preparation and college application process. So for example, you want to go to, Texas Christian University, right? Whatever university you want, you basically go to Google, type Big Future, then type name of the college. Then click on the link that is from Big Future, not the ad ones. So once you do that, you will see this type of website and you will learn a lot about the college. And I always ask my students, hey, step one is creating a new Gmail account close to your first name, last name, which you will use for your professional, areas. So for academics, for job application, this is what you're gonna use. So let's start with a clean Gmail, and with that Gmail, let's create our College Board account, and let's start the process of college application by starting to learn about colleges. So so basically, students click on the applying tab on the left, on the college of their choice, and then they click on the SAT tab on that list, and then from there on, they put their PSAT score or they practice SAT score to see how close they are to get to that college. And on this website, I'll give you a live demo in a few minutes, you will see that, you will see the statistics of the college. What SAT score, was good for them to give acceptance. And if your SAT score, which is the green bubbles, are in the black box of the college's SAT score range, mid-range, and if they're in the box, hey, most likely you can get acceptance from the college, But if your green bubbles, if your SAT scores are not within the range, then most likely this is a reach school for you. You are not ready for the school yet. You have to study more and increase your SAT scores to get there. But if your scores are already way above the school, then you can expect maybe to get a good scholarship to get into college. This can be your safety college. You might easily get acceptance if you do everything else right. And maybe most likely also, if you're in the top 5-10% of the applicant pool, you might also get some scholarship from the college. So let me stop here, and all of our viewers will have access to this, and we can also add this link down below on the below the video, so they can access to this one. And the price wise, as I said, each college cost different to different students, and you don't know that until you receive your financial aid award letter. But there are some ways of knowing this, and this is called as net price calculators. And I mean, every college by federal law, they have to have net price calculator on their website. So what does this does exactly is, um, so you put some numbers in here and you can learn about how much this college cost you if you get acceptance. And if you're an average student with acceptance to this college, you can learn how much it's gonna cost to you. Let's say that you are from United States, and let's say that you are from the great state of Texas, which I love. And then let's say that you are 5 people family. And let's say that you will have your first child in college. By the way, if you have more students at the college the same year, you pay less. So if you haven't have your kids yet, having them back to back is a very good, money saving, strategy for you. So, and here it asks the parents, what's the parent's income? So let's say that it is 80,000. I mean, you can put any number here. You have the link. You can come and put your own numbers. Let's say that the parent income is 80,000 and there is no any other income of the family. Okay. And it's very easy. Just you put numbers here. And then it's asked about assets. So how much cash you have in the bank. Let's say that $5,000 and we don't have anything else. Okay. And and let's say that our student just start to work and student has $1,000, in her bank. So you can see that here, Harvard will give you, $70,000 of scholarship based on your need. And the only cost that you will be paying includes airfare, dorms, meals, textbooks, and everything. It's going to just cost you $6,000. And the parent will only pay $2,400 a year. And the student will pay $50 out of her pocket. And Harvard will give them opportunity to work at Harvard, and and then they will earn the money. So you will end up just paying less than $2,500 cash money to go to Harvard. So there are some colleges give excellent scholarships, and there are some colleges never gives almost any scholarships. Which colleges give, which colleges don't, you have access to all those information. I mean, you can know exactly, which colleges do that. And it's on my link number 7. So, but before that, we need to know what is college readiness a bit more. I mean, for the parents to understand, hey, what is college readiness exactly? So my child is in 8th grade. How can I know if my child is on the track to be college ready? In the school that I work, we will give PSAT tests, and we give them as early as in the 8th grade. Every year, students take PSAT until they start to take SAT in the second semester of the junior year. So when I give 8th graders PSAT test, if my student receives 390 from reading and writing and 430 from math, I know that this student is on the track to be college ready by the senior year. So if the student doesn't lower the amount of study, keep studying the same pace, most likely will get these scores 9th, 10th, and 11th grade. And by the senior year, they will get the college ready scores. So what if my child is doing much better than that? Wonderful. So if your child has a higher score than these, let them study more so they will have higher chance of getting scholarship. And I know many students, who couldn't get this score by the senior year, but I also know many students who get the score as early as 7th grade or 8th grade. So it's never too early to start to study for college. And so this guide will give them many explanations, but this chart will help them to see, depending on where they are, they can check their case PSAT, SAT scores and learn about their college readiness level. So let me jump to here. And since you are from New Jersey, Mr. Elci, would you give me a college name that you want me to just check that out?
Princeton, can you?
Which one?
Princeton?
Princeton?
Yeah,
Okay,
maybe.
let's start from a low level, not super high, the best college.
Okay, the State University, maybe. Rutgers.
Okay, Rutgers. Did I spell it right?
RU.
This
Yeah,
one?
it's correct.
Okay. So you just type the name of the college there and you will know about the college. So when I look at the college, I look at this statistics. 65% of graduates, students graduate within 6 years. So national average is about 55%. So this is above national average. So this school, considered as a good school, but know that 1/3 of kids don't graduate from here. And so that's what I look at first, what percent of students graduate from college. And then I can load tons of information from this site. I can check the deadlines. I can check, what majors, students study. And, after first year, how many percent of students, turn back? 85% of students return from freshman to sophomore year. So after the first year, they lose 15% of their students, but remaining stays there. And of the ones who start, 65% of them graduates within 6 years. So when I click the applying tab here, then I go down, what's important? So one of the questions of the families asked you, Mr. Elci, was, what is important for college, right? So
Sure.
when you go to big future, when you put your college here, and when you come down, you still see that this list is different for every college. Very important and considered. You will see that it's quite different. For a private school, most likely you will see character, personal qualities, essay at a very important part. For state colleges, they don't have too many people at the admissions office. They just look at the numbers first. They look at the transcript, GPA, SAT, boom, they make their decision. They don't have much time to spend. So you will see different things here. And if you click on the SAT, ACT tab, you will see, so of the students who got into the college, okay? Now they are at the college studying there. This is the score, let me make it bigger. So 490 is the score of the student who ranked 25th from bottom. And 580 is a score who ranked 75th from the bottom. So this is called as mid-range, not the top, not the bottom. This is, the student who ranked from the bottom 25th out of 100 got 490. The student who ranked 75th from the bottom who got 580. So if I put my score here, let's say that I took an SAT test and I have 670 and let's say that's, 570 scores, what I can say is my reading score is much higher than average students, but my math score isn't that much super, but still I'm in good shape. So I can get acceptance here. And if I scroll down, I will see, where do I rank? I rank in the top 21% for reading, and I rank in top 3 plus 16 plus 54, around top.
3.
From the bottom, we can go maybe. About 30%, between 30th and 50%. I'm somewhere in the middle. Maybe you can say it that way. So you can easily find out how much chance you have there, and you have this. And if you just log in, if you have login here, let's use my sample student account. And so if you just look and create your College Board account and you go to this place, applying, then SAT, right? And hey, I put my score before and let me save it. So to any college I jump, for example, I made my list of colleges, and this will tell me, Harvard College is a reach. I'm not in that league yet. MIT is too high, Princeton here is too high, and their scores are way above here. But I can say that, Sam Houston State University, for example, I'm way above here, and this is my safety college. And if I go back, hey, I like this one, Rutgers, I like it. I can come up, I can click add to my list, and it is saved here. Anytime I can come and I can check out, how how I was ranked in this college, how much chance do I have? I can find it out from here. So this is a wonderful tool, and it has so many other things. If you just scroll up, get started. Everything that you need to know, the basics, find colleges, exploring careers. And this site is enough to learn many new things about the college application process. I want to take you here, one of my favorites. There are some different, website, just to show you how colleges differ, in giving money. So let's say Rutgers, right? So let's say that how good it is in giving scholarship. Okay, so which one?
New browser, maybe. The middle one.
It's okay. So what did I do is, this is a website by federal government, and colleges have to submit their data, the law. And so all the numbers here you can trust. I put the college name, then I find the college, I click on it. I will have many information here. What I'm gonna do here is, I will click on net price. So net price is a terminology which shows that how much money families will be paying out of their pocket. Okay, and you can see here that if your income level is between 0 to 30,000, if you're coming from a low-income family, this college per year will cost you $13,000. If you are in this range, as an average, you'll be paying around $20,000. So if you're coming from high income, families, you're paying much more. So this website, without you receive your financial aid award letter, you can learn if you are sending an average child to the university, which when I say average, which I mean that your child is in the box. So in SAT wise, the score of your child is between 490 and 580, between 490 and 580. So somewhere around 530s, okay? That
Mr.
child,
Can we compare like two students with this score and some with the better score, like something more 750 and more? And
there
what
are,
changed?
there are websites, I removed it. We have some websites, they collect and they show you that. For example, if you have this score, most likely you will get this much money. But if you increase it, you might get this much money. You never know about that. Those numbers are very hypothetical, very theoretical. You will know how much you will be paying once you receive the financial aid award letter. So this will give you some idea. But you can say that, this college is giving some scholarships. Okay, they're not that stingy. But you have some colleges are very stingy. And just to give you an idea, Southern Methodist, let me just in Dallas. So when you look at, for example, net price for this university, you see that, you don't get much money here, right? You look at the money that they give. And if you are coming from low income, as a family, you earn just 30,000. So you have to pay $26,000 per year.
It's too much.
But if you go to, for example, another university like Harvard, for example, and you will see that that is not the case. So by coming here, you can know if this college will give you money or not. Look at here. I mean, you pay almost nothing if you earn less than $75,000. So this is a great website to come and shop for colleges to see which one gives money, which ones don't give money. And then to get the money, you must, your scores, and there are many things that need, I mean, SAT is just one of them. But if your scores are on the right, and if you are in top 5, 10%, you might expect some sort of scholarships if you do also many other parts well. So what I try to say is, if you know the system, if you study right early on, if you take high-level courses in high school early on. So one thing that colleges check, let me show you that very fast. What's important? This is an important term that parents may not understand. Rigor of secondary school record, which means that how much the student challenged himself or herself. The school gives honors courses and college level courses, so hard courses, and you have the freedom to make your choice. If you choose and challenge yourself with this hard level course, and if you succeed and every year you get better and better, then it shows that, hey, you are tested. When you get to college, I have no worries about the freshman year. You will survive and thrive. You will do great because you took all the APs, all the pre-APs, all the honors courses, all the credit courses. And so, and you know, colleges look at here, I mean, the GPA of the student, what courses the student took, and also they look at what the high school offered. If you go to a small school, there are just 3 APs offered. You took all 3. Wow. You use 100% of the opportunities given to you. On the other hand, we have another student at his school, let's say, they offer 20 AP, but student only took 4. So 4 out of 20 versus 3 out of 3. If everything is same, which one you would pick? One student didn't challenge himself fully, the other one did. So the question is, know your high school and make sure that you challenge yourself with the highest level, possible you can, challenge yourself, and you prepare yourself for the college early on. Okay, so let me go back to this links again. One of the biggest problem among juniors, seniors of high school students, they don't know about themselves. They don't know about their interest. They don't decide on major. And you see kids stressed out. They're, dying. They just get stuck. They don't study. They don't get motivated to study. They just work like zombies because they don't know what to do with their life. They don't know where to apply. Okay, I will go and college, but what I will major in, they don't know. So they don't start the process. They delay the process. That's why exposing them to careers, to jobs early as elementary, middle school will help them to test the field. If they can get some internships early on, 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade, they will see if they like it. For example, they will get some volunteering jobs or internship jobs at doctor's office or in hospitals. Maybe they will hate it. Hey, I hate this. It's a good thing. You know that you won't like it early on. Now you can focus on something else. Maybe you will like it. So you'll say, okay, now I'm motivated. I want to be a doctor. And you will start to take higher level science courses early on, which will prepare you to get acceptance from colleges that is competitive in that field. So when kids know what to do, it's good. So I like this college factual. Again, you will get your Gmail account. Then you will sign up with your Gmail account. Then it's going to ask you many questions. Okay, you will answer them all. Then it has a wonderful major matcher report. So let me get there. Let me show you what it is. So this has a wonderful report, 76-page long report that shows what majors can be good for you based on your interests. Let me see if I can find it here. It says, quick match and full assessment.
I make survey, right?
It's a survey. So there are different surveys. There are tons of surveys out there. And, these are interest surveys. So you say that, for example,
Super interesting.
Sorry?
The super interesting, maybe.
Yes. I mean, for example, I like to do, for example, research. I like to read. I like to, talk to people. So based on what you like to do, they say that, hey, based on what you like to do, we think that you can be successful in those majors. So it's a very vast field. Okay. They just try to narrow it down for you to make your research in those areas so that you can find what you want. But sometimes they don't get it right, but most of the times they get it right. Let me show you here if I can find my report. Actually, I had downloaded it, should be somewhere here. I have 76-page long report that shows exactly what I like. It's a bit, harder to find it here. So I will find that out before the end, and I will show you. So College Factory is a nice place. But hey, if you don't know about yourself very well, there are also, some paid services that you can take, and they will give you more. So what I would suggest to parents early on, try to find the strengths and interests of your child and try to feed that so that they will, before they change their minds, before they will lose the interest, before they say that I hate high school, I don't like to study, I don't want to study at all, you have to reach them out and get them into some extracurriculars, some courses, so they will be motivated to study more in high school. So let me stop here. There are some many other links that parents can find it out. So one way of learning more about everything is what I use is YouTube. And there are so many great resources. And for example, we have here EduTALKS, right? I mean, here you can find many things. Let me stop here. Let's stop it here. So when you go, I don't Google, I YouTube. For example, let's say that, hey, is college worth it? Are there any other options? What are the other options out there? You can, for example, come here and you can start to search boot camps, and you can find coding boot camps. What I do here is, the way that I study a field, I start with basic keyword, and as I watch, I learn more keywords from the presenters. And as I find people, what I do is, hey, I like this guy. I like the page, I subscribe, and then as I do more about that, the system will bring up more people like that. And then I will know many different people. With just one command, I scan. No, talking this here. Oops, sorry. So I will like it, I will subscribe it, and I will learn more. So and YouTube algorithm will bring more of those people. Like, subscribe, subscribe. Learn the keywords. Add those keywords to your research. And then you will learn a lot about the field. Maybe we can just spend one session maybe on the great resources for parents, free resources where they can learn more on their own. And the best solution is, and if you like to sum up today is, it is doable, it is fun to learn, It's a great country, great opportunities. And as you learn, you can guide your child better. But at the end, your child will do the work. And you have to understand and listen to your child. You have to know your child's school. You must maybe change your child's school if it's not a good school there. And there are many tools to understand about that. But when you get to school, then how to get the most? So you have to understand what they offer, and you need to understand how to talk to school counselor to get the best courses. So it's a long journey, but if you don't want to be spending hundreds of thousands of dollars and your child won't graduate from college, then I guess it worth investing, and it's gonna pay off. So just put your feet into the water, start and enjoy the journey.
So it's a long journey, but start with the parents or guardians care about this topic, right?
I mean, caring and thinking that they can do it. For example, when I meet with the parents, I see mostly three things. First, I see, for example, both parents very engaged, and I can't talk to students. I mean, they always I ask a question to student, they answer, which is not healthy. They're over, involved. That's not good. Sometimes I see only one parent, either dad or mom. The other parent gone after the first session. They say, I can't, I don't stand. Just take care of it, the mom or the dad. So it's not also healthy. So the best, sometimes I just see the students, the parents, after the initial talk, they're gone. When they said, hey, I don't need to be, the kids should learn and do it independently. Yes, but it's too much stress. You have to do something too to support it. You need to understand what struggles they're going through to help them out. So the best approach is the family will be there. They will try to understand the process and they will support their kid, but the kid will do the work. They will be doing the most of the talk, and they will make their own decision. When they make their own decision, they will own it. They will take the responsibility and they will grow. It's a long process. So talking with the kid is the most important thing, I guess.
Okay. Thank you for your presentation. We have some questions if you have time.
Sure.
Okay, the first one is for these pandemic days, many universities, colleges informed that they will not ask for the SAT scores this year, maybe next year also. So even in this case, how about the kids, the students? Do they still try to do SAT, ACT, or just they just cancel it for this year? What do you offer for them?
Just will give you another example, then I will get to this point. So what they say may be different what they will do. Because there are many, different terms in, college fields. For example, I may say that as a high school, for example, I don't rank kids. So I don't send any ranking to colleges. Okay? Many high schools now go towards in that non-ranking, way. But the problem is, yes, you don't give me a ranking on my transcript, but as a school, high schools send two documents to colleges. One, the transcript, and one, the high school profile. So the high school profile shows the GPA distribution of students. So top 10% has this range of GPA, the bottom, and then the first quartile, and the mid-range or whatever. Hey, if I'm not a dumb person, as admission officer, I can look at the transcript, I can look at here, I can know your ranking. But when they sell it to students, we don't rank. Same way, colleges can say that, hey, SAT is optional, okay? But this may mean many different things based on different colleges. Hey, if you don't send, so for many colleges in Texas, it used to, SAT was a requirement. If you don't send your SAT, your application is incomplete. And you can't get acceptance or rejections if you don't send the SAT score. So now the SAT is optional, so you don't have to send. But if you have a high score, why wouldn't you send? And if you don't send your SAT score, some say that they will never consider it, which is very rare. Many colleges will consider if you send it. And if you don't send one, they will think what you would get. And they would, based on your GPA, your courses, they will give you a rank in their system.
Image.
So if you don't want them to rank you based on your other fields that you will send to college, if you are good at that, take it and send your score. But if you think that your SAT score wouldn't reflect and wouldn't be better than your other parts of application, then if the college doesn't require it, don't send it. Or maybe send it to some colleges where you will have high chance. Don't send it to others that you may not have chance.
Okay, thank you. The next question is about the essay. Do you think SAT essay is necessary for college or not?
It's very easy. You can just go to school website, or you go to Big Future, that the link that I gave. It will show you if it is required, and very few colleges require it. So it's very few. So it's very important. Many students, most of the students, what they do is they take the SAT in the summer of the senior year, and then they build a college list, which is the wrong thing to do. You have to have your college list, and in your college list, you have to know what they require. If they require SAT essay, and if you don't take it, you won't be good. Maybe you won't be accepted as an applicant. So that's why make your college lists and check Big Future and the college website to know if it's required. If it is required, take it. If not, you don't have to. But if you are a very good writer, why not?
Thank you. What about SAT and ACT? What is the difference between these two?
Almost nothing. In the past, it was way different. SAT, if you make mistakes, it would lower your score in the past, before 2016. In ACT, it didn't harm. And ACT was more like, regular high school courses. SAT had too many tricks in it. But ACT, took most of the market share. A few more percent of the market share, and many states were going towards ACT. Usually, the mainlands go ACT, and the coastal states go by SAT as a tradition. But for colleges, it doesn't matter. If they want to get, federal free money from the federal government, they have to accept equally both. So for colleges, it doesn't matter. And for students, take both practice tests after you study a little bit, what the test is all about. Then see in which one you rank higher in percentile. And then go towards that. If you are a fast student, ACT is better. If not, see which one works for you.
Okay.
And yeah. Mm-hmm.
Another question about the overseas. You said also you have worked overseas, like Russia and some other countries. So if students want to come to USA from any other country, so what they should care more, what they should do? TOEFL will be necessary also in that case, or IRTC, or just SAT, GPA will be enough?
Again, each college has its own requirement. So college website, go to college's website, and they will list for international students what they require. So make your list and then see which ones you can afford. Hey, I have in my list, 6 colleges, will accept IELTS. Just 3 of them would accept, TOEFL, maybe, I don't know. So based on whatever the numbers are, based on your budget, make your, planning. But start planning as early as possible. Freshman year, high school, and 9th grade, 10th grade. Don't leave it to 12th grade, because in America, in the United States, the top students, their deadlines are always much earlier than regular students. So top colleges have earlier deadlines. And so you must make sure that you have everything ready before the end of the junior year, so that in summer you can finish your application.
Yes, thank you. One another question. So as you mentioned, also some of the students, they cannot decide sometimes what kind of jobs they're gonna choose. So for this or for any kind of students, what do you think will be the most popular jobs in the future? What kind of jobs is waiting for the students?
It's again one of the best answer, for let me just hold on, please. And the most favorite answer is, it depends. College counselors like to use that term because it's different from everybody, right? So here I put the last link, and the last link, all career guides, they use this website, and this is the basic, most essential website on any job. I mean, on any research on careers, and you can come here and say, "Hey, fastest growing jobs." It's gonna give you the list. All right. How about highest paying jobs? You have it here. How can I become, let's say, dentist. Let's click on the dentist. Let's see what they do, how much they are paid, what they do, work environment, how to become one. So, for any job research, this is the place that you need to come and understand. After you take, a career interest test, then you can come here and research, these ones. And then you can go to Big Future and you can find out, hey, okay, I'd like to be that thing, whatever I choose, but then what majors should I study, right? So you will come here and learn more about majors. Let's, for example, let's say that you go to, healthcare, right? So let's click here. You want to be dentist, and then it's gonna give you some information on related majors. So start with the college factual, take the test, narrow down what you want to, what you would like to do, and then go and go to the last link, occupational outlook handbook, learn about the careers, the jobs. Once you decide one, then go to Big Future and look for what majors would take you there, and then learn and based on those majors, make your research and make your college list, and based on the college list, learn how much essay and how much essay you need to get, and what score you need to get, and what other requirements that you need to have in place. It's a long journey. It takes a lot of time, and many students, unfortunately, don't invest their time on those, so they lose opportunity.
It's really hard to get off from the games, the
It is
PCs.
hard. So I always say that make it social, make it fun. On your own, you won't survive. It's not very likely. So if you have 3, 4, 5, friends, let's, be the leader, motivate them. Hey, let's, study. Let's see what you like to do. Talk about that and try to find a mentor in the community, from school. Anyone that who knows about that. Invite them. They will give you a speech, talk. They will give you some advices, and then you will learn every day something new. And YouTube is there. Google is there, and we have tons of other stuff, tons of free resources. So do you know that there's a website, Modern States, and it can give you free college credits. So you study their work, and they usually use some other valid resources, Coursera, edX. So you take your classes from there, you prove them that you finished. They give you voucher. From this voucher, you go to college, take the test for free. You can earn college credit. So if you just know and study, there is no excuse in this country. You can finish first 2 years, 1 year, half a year of college while in high school for free. Whether you are coming from high income parent or low income parent, doesn't matter. So endless opportunities to the ones who would like to learn.
Let's see. Thank you very much. Well, one last thing. What about extracurricular activities and volunteering activities? what kind of activities is better, or in general?
Whatever you like to do. I mean, so learn the first opportunities, okay? In your neighborhood, what are the opportunities out there? If you don't have a car, if you don't have any public transportation, what else you can do? What are the clubs in your school? What organization are at the school? Hey, I'd like to do robotics, but there's no robotics club at the school. Perfect. You can start one. Once, if you start one, learn how to start a club. Ask your school counselor, ask your school administrator, what's the timeline, what type of documents they need. Then go to Google, search for those, and find 3, 4 more friends to get involved. Find a sponsored teacher. Start that. You will be the founder of the club. You will be the president of the club, and you will push everybody. You will be the leader. You will learn the most. Hey, you don't need to be leader for everything. Freshman and sophomore year for you to, explore yourself. Get the list of clubs, the days they meet, the sponsored teachers, get into their, message group if they are in WhatsApp, if they are remind, schools use some sorts of, social media, and the kids get engaged there. So get into those and visit a few of them, 3 times, 2 times, and find which ones you like. Then try 2 of them. Then maybe you don't have time, just stick to one. But if you don't start this process, senior year, if you apply, you have nothing, you didn't try anything, that's not good. And in the application process, it's not good, but the more sad story is you didn't explore yourself and you didn't improve yourself that you could improve wonderfully well. So missed opportunity is essential.
Thank you very much for this also. So, as a conclusion, as a summarize, few more words, if you want to say something.
I'd like to say that, check with YouTube channels like Mr. Elci does. Exploring careers is amazing. This is a wonderful field that you are in, because many students, especially if they are from minorities, and if you are new to this country, you don't have your aunt, uncle who went to medical school, who went to engineering, major. So you don't know, you don't hear by being around them. So you, by listening to people who went through this, you can get some inspiration. You can learn the field. And so I always say that without career counseling, you cannot do college counseling. And without giving students, personality tests, without understanding this student, you cannot start the career counseling. So for students, knowing your interest, because many kids sometimes don't, but when I give them the personality test, 16 personalities, just Google 16 personalities. It's a wonderful test, free. And it tells you so much about yourself. When I give it to students, they scream, how this test might know me that much better. When I took the test for the first time, many, many years ago, it was 3 a.m. in the morning. And I was shocked. The test result was telling what I was thinking, and which I never share with anyone. I'm an introvert, I don't share. But what I was thinking, it was on the page. You think this like this? I said, yes, how come you know it? So knowing yourself, they also list your strengths and your weaknesses. Know your strengths and own your weaknesses and work on them, okay? And then explore careers, explore majors, see which ones you like, try to test them if possible, then try to build a rigorous academic, courses in your high school transcript, get involved in clubs, try to, volunteer out. Volunteering is amazing. We can have just one session on volunteering and how it works in this great country. It's a wonderful field. And then, as you put more, you will get more. Study, it's going to pay off.
Thank you so much for this great information. So the success will not come to us. We have to go to the success to get it. That's the point, right?
We don't do anything. They are doing the work. The students are doing the work. And family's role is to understand, to support them, and to give them options. So my job is to show you the options and explain you how to get there. But as a student, you will do all the work and you will enjoy it if it matches with your personality. And if it doesn't match, don't think that studying is wrong. Just studying that thing is not right for you. Just find something that you will enjoy to study. Then you will be a successful student in the future and current.
Okay, thank you so much for this information. And then the students and the parents, whoever watching this also, can subscribe to our channel, and then
absolutely,
yeah, we can
like it.
We will inform them more. They can find anyway in the YouTube, as you said. It's like kind of an ocean for the knowledge. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
See you next time. Have a good day.
Okay, thank you.